So next up in my little parlour here is Andrew Quick of Entegris. First of all, Andrew, what does Entegris do and why are you here at this conference?
Sure, so Entegris provides systems and solutions into critical material handling, so products that purify, products that protect, and products that transport those critical materials, often fluid processing materials. And so we're here at the World Advanced Therapies Conference because we've recently launched a line of single-use bag products into the bioprocessing and cell and gene therapy markets. And these products are focused on cold chain applications as well as cryopreservation and downstream applications. And so we're learning more about the market in our time here.
And how are you finding this conference? What have you come across that's exciting for you?
So there's been quite a great level of engagement, some very good talks, a nice roundtable discussion around unit operations versus all-in-one equipment and what's the direction for the future, what really makes sense for the industry. And those talks and roundtables have really taught us more about what the cell and gene therapy market needs in terms of the tools for those cell applications.
And what are the trends that you're seeing here?
Certainly a trend towards trying to take hold of some of the learnings from the bioprocessing market, which is much more mature in terms of its manufacturing capability, and trying to best understand how to take those, say, manufacturing products or lessons that they've learned and adapt them into cell therapy. So, for instance, how do they use bioreactors that are designed for bioprocessing in cell therapy applications? That's been a common topic in many of the talks and discussions.
And are you also seeing the desire to scale up?
Certainly, yeah. I think it's a concern that they all have, they being those actually growing the cells and doing that biological work. It's kind of seen as somewhat far off in their development, but at the same time something to be aware of. And I think that's why a lot of the talks are now centered around how do they scale up, how do they go from, say, the plate growing cells on the plates to in a larger scale bioreactor of 5 liters or greater.
How useful is coming to a conference like this for you?
I'd say these conferences are quite useful. So seeing how the actual end users, the drug manufacturers in this case, those manipulating the cells, taking them through the different steps, how they're actually doing that process, the challenges they're having with their current equipment, where maybe they are blind about some of the options that are available to them and they haven't been aware of. It's a good way for us to both learn about the market and also educate the market at the same time.
And you talked about challenges there. What do you see as the big challenges?
From Entegris' perspective, it's the fact that a lot of the systems that they're using are kind of kludged together or mixed together from existing products that have been grandfathered into the system. A lot of blood bag technology that's relatively old may not be suited for the cell and gene therapy applications, and also the fact that a lot of the process engineers and scientists aren't aware of or haven't paid as much attention to the materials challenges that they've been dealing with in bioprocessing. So things like leachables and extractables, purity of their materials of construction, and continuation of supply and change control on that supply of materials. Those are a lot of the challenges that we're seeing as a component supplier or a tool supplier into the market.
Do you see also a trend away from single-use plastics?
So far, no. If anything, we're seeing more on the allogeneic side, somewhat still on the autologous, and trying to figure out how they can incorporate the efficiencies and the ease of use of single use into their processes. And so that's where, again, coming to these sorts of conferences helps that development. What do the end users need from us as a single-use supplier, and what do we need to understand from the end users to best suit those needs?
Thank you. I'm glad you found it so useful.
Thank you.